A wave of urgency is sweeping across immigrant communities as USCIS quietly rolls out one of the most significant policy shifts in green card eligibility seen in years, a change that touches families, workers, students, and long-term residents who believed they understood the rules of adjustment of status. What appears on the surface to be a modernization update is, in reality, a complete restructuring of who will be considered financially ready for permanent residency in the United States. For decades, the anchor of green card approval rested on the sponsor. Their income, their affidavit of support, and their financial ability to back the applicant formed the protective shield that ensured newcomers would not become a burden. But this long-standing structure is now being rewritten as USCIS moves toward an applicant-centered evaluation system. The agency will no longer rely primarily on what the sponsor can provide. Instead, the focus now shifts directly onto the applicant's personal financial health, creating a deeper layer of scrutiny that thousands are unprepared for. Beginning with the updated adjustment of status process, Form I-485 will include a new financial declaration section that every applicant must complete, requiring disclosure of income sources, assets, liabilities, dependents, and health coverage. This shift places the burden of proof on the immigrant rather than on the sponsor, meaning that even if the sponsor earns far above the federal poverty guideline, an application could still be denied if USCIS believes the applicant does not demonstrate sufficient financial stability on their own. This concept of insufficient self-sufficiency is poised to become a determining factor in approval outcomes. While the Department of Homeland Security claims the new rule offers fairness and modernization, the level of subjectivity introduced could produce widely inconsistent results. Two applicants with similar financial profiles might receive completely different decisions depending on how individual officers interpret the rule. What makes this transformation even more impactful is a hidden layer that most people are not aware of. USCIS is implementing a digital financial risk scoring system that evaluates applicants based on income history, debt ratios, employment patterns, and past use of public benefits. Although DHS says public benefits will not automatically disqualify anyone, internal guidance suggests these factors may influence borderline cases. This means that even temporary use of assistance during difficult periods, such as the pandemic, could register as a risk signal. The challenge for applicants is that the scoring system functions internally, leaving individuals unable to see, question, or understand how their financial profile is being evaluated. Immigration attorneys warn that this digital oversight could raise denial rates while reducing transparency, shifting the process from a human-driven review to one that blends automation with officer discretion. The real-world effects are already becoming clear. Family-based applicants will now undergo dual evaluation. USCIS will examine both the sponsor's ability to support them and the applicant's own financial independence. A spouse with low personal income, gaps in employment, or multiple dependents could face heightened scrutiny even if the sponsor exceeds income requirements. Applicants relying on a single-income household or transitioning from student to work visas may find themselves unexpectedly affected. Employment-based applicants face new burdens as well. Employers must now prove the offered position is stable and financially sustainable for at least 1 year after approval. This aims to prevent unstable job offers from being used as pathways to permanent residency, but adds documentation requirements that could slow down or complicate applications. Humanitarian categories such as refugees, asylees, and parolees remain largely exempt from the financial declaration. Yet these groups will experience expanded medical and background screening steps that may lengthen processing timelines into the following year. For anyone planning to adjust status, preparation is crucial. Filing before the rule takes effect is strongly advised for those already eligible, as older forms will be rejected without a grace period. Applicants should begin organizing tax returns, bank statements, pay stubs, and proof of assets covering at least the last 2 years, since financial documentation will now carry unprecedented weight. Those with inconsistent work history or recent job transitions should include letters from employers, contracts, or any evidence demonstrating stability. Using the latest form edition upon its release will be essential, as submitting outdated versions will result in automatic rejection regardless of the quality of the rest of the application. Consulting a licensed immigration attorney is also more important than ever because increased officer discretion means similar cases may have very different outcomes, and failing to address a small financial gap or missing a minor document could trigger delays or denial. A scenario faced by many immigrants makes this change easier to understand. Consider a healthcare worker applying through a U.S. citizen spouse. In the past, the spouse's strong income and the affidavit of support were enough to secure approval. Under the new rule, however, USCIS will scrutinize the applicant's own finances just as carefully. A temporary employment gap, outstanding debt, or even lack of long-term health insurance coverage could place the case at risk, despite an otherwise strong application. This example reflects what thousands may encounter as the system shifts toward evaluating personal financial strength rather than relying solely on sponsor assurances. For applicants dependent on a single breadwinner, individuals still building a financial foundation, or recent graduates starting new careers, this transition could present unexpected obstacles. The upcoming Financial Self-Sufficiency Framework signifies a fundamental redesign of how green card eligibility is determined. While it may streamline certain cases through digital processing, it also raises the bar for financial independence in ways many applicants have never faced before. The message is clear: every applicant must now demonstrate their ability to remain financially stable without relying solely on a sponsor's support. Yet the methods used to judge that stability are more complex and less transparent, emphasizing the need for early preparation, accurate documentation, and careful planning. Acting before the deadline, keeping detailed financial records, using correct forms, and seeking legal guidance can make all the difference as this new system unfolds. This major shift signals the beginning of a new era in immigration processing, one where clarity, organization, and personal financial readiness become the keys to success for anyone pursuing permanent residency in the United States.